overcome evil by the practice of fasting. Notice it is called a prescription. Chapter 2, verse 183. You know what a prescription is? It's for people who are what? Sick. Why are black people sick? It's because their will to resist evil is weak. The Bible says, resist the devil and he will what? How many of us resist him? See, we do that thing in church. We talk that. If you can't go the whole 30 days with us, take one. If you get by one, try two. During the daylight hours, from sun up, don't put anything in your mouth. No water, no food. If you feel that you're going to be famished, get up before the sun rises. Get up at around 5:30. And if you feel like you need something, make you something then. It's permissible. But if I were you, I would need food then. I would take me a nice herbal tea, water and juice. And when the sun or the day begins to break, stop. When it's dark again, and eat. That discipline all day long. Think about it. People going to the water cooler at work drinking, you are just not drinking. People eating their lunch and you smell it and want it, you not eat. Even during the daylight hours, a man is not allowed to take pleasure with his wife or vice versa during the daylight hours. If you can resist, your will be stronger. And so now, as we read this Quran, we are enlightened by its beauty, the majesty of these ayats. And you would not know that unless you are reading the Quran as we are instructed to do. If you don't mind, I'd like to say something about Ramadan. This is a very sacred month. Not just a month of fasting, but a month of challenging ourselves in a way that after this month, when we take the Eid prayer and feast of joy, after having struggled to complete our 30 days, it brings us to a new day, a new year of our Islam. And so I want to say to those who tried, we thank Allah for you, and you are the beneficiaries of your striving.
Assalamu alaikum, family. Can you all hear me? In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah, who we believe came in the person of Master Father Muhammad. And we thank him for raising up for us the living and exalted Christ, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I further bear witness and thank them too for leaving in our midst a divine warner and guide in the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It's in that three names I would like to greet you all with the greeting words of peace. We said in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum. Today we will be on part 6 of our Quran. This is day 6. Let me, Sister Alexis, if you ready, you can go ahead and put it on the screen for us. Wait, we are on part 6 today, right? What page is that? For those who have your PDFs and for those who have your books, maybe at home, that is going to be on page 236. Page 236 And that's going to be Surah or chapter 4, ayat 148. That's where we are. Chapter 4, ayat 148. Alexia, I'm sorry. Oh, I keep saying Alexis. Sister Alexia, are you able to put it on the screen today? All right. We're going to go ahead and get started. Part 6. Allah loves not the public utterance of hurtful speech, except by one who has been wronged. And Allah is ever hearing, knowing. If you do good openly, or keep it secret, or pardon an evil, Allah surely is ever pardoning, powerful. Those who disbelieve in Allah and His messengers and desire to make a distinction between Allah and His messengers and say, we believe in some and disbelieve in others, and desire to take a course in between. These are truly disbelievers, and we have prepared for the disbelievers an abasing chastisement. And those who believe in Allah and His messengers and make no distinction between any of them, to them He will grant their rewards, and Allah is ever forgiving, merciful. Section 22, Transgressions of the Jews. The people of the book asked thee to bring down to them a book from heaven. Indeed, they demanded of Moses a greater thing than that. For they said, show us Allah manifestly. So destructive punishment overtook them on account of their wrongdoing. Then they took the calf for a god, after clear signs had come to them. But we pardoned this, and we gave Moses clear authority. And we raised the mountain above them at their covenant. And we said to them, enter the door making obeisance. And we said to them, violate not the Sabbath. And we took from them a firm covenant. Then for their breaking their covenant and their disbelief in messages of Allah and the messengers of Allah, and their killing the prophets wrongfully, and their saying, our hearts are covered. Nay, Allah has sealed them owing to their disbelief, so they believe not but a little. And for their disbelief and for their uttering against Mary a grievous calumny. And for their saying, we have killed the Messiah, Jesus, son of Mary, the messenger of Allah, and they killed him not, nor did they cause his death on the cross. But he was made to appear to them as such, and certainly those who differ therein are in doubt about it. They have no knowledge of it, but only follow a conjecture, and they killed him not for certain. Nay, Allah exalted him in his presence, and Allah is ever mighty, wise. And there is none of the people of the book but will believe in this before his death, and on the day of resurrection he will be a witness against them. So for the iniquity of the Jews, we forbade them the good things which had been made lawful for them, and for their hindering many people from Allah's way, and for their taking usury, though indeed they were forbidden it, and their devouring the property of people falsely. And we have prepared for the disbelievers from among them a painful chastisement. But the firm in knowledge among them and the believers believe in that which has been revealed to thee, and that which was revealed before thee, and those who keep up prayer and give the poor rate. And the believers in Allah and the last day, these it is to whom we shall give a mighty reward. Section 23. Previous revelation bears out Quranic statements, Surely we have revealed to thee as we revealed to Noah and prophets after him. And we revealed to Abraham and Ishmael and Isaac and Jacob and the tribes and Jesus and Job and Jonah and Aaron and Solomon. And we gave to David a scripture. And we sent messengers we have mentioned to thee before, and messengers we have not mentioned to thee. And Moses and to Moses Allah addressed his words speaking to him. Messengers, bearers of good news, and warners, so that the people may have no plea against Allah after the coming of messengers. And Allah is ever mighty, wise. But Allah bears witness by that which he has revealed to thee, that he has revealed it with his knowledge, and the angels also bear witness, and Allah is sufficient as a witness. Those who disbelieve and hinder others from Allah's way, they indeed have erred, going far astray. Those who disbelieve and act unjustly, Allah would never forgive them nor guide them to a path, except the path of hell, to abide in it for a long time, and that is easy to Allah. O mankind, the messenger has indeed come to you with truth from your Lord, so believe, it is better for you. And if you disbelieve, then surely to Allah belongs whatever is in the heavens and the earth, and Allah is ever knowing. Wise. O people of the book, exceed not the limits in your religion, nor speak anything about Allah but the truth. The Messiah, Jesus, son of Mary, is the only messenger of Allah, and his word, which he communicated to Mary, and a mercy from him. So believe in Allah and his messengers, and say not, 3, desist, it is better for you. Allah is only one God. Far be it from his glory to have a son. To him belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is in the earth, and sufficient is Allah as having charge of affairs. All right. Section 24, Sister Diabra. I'm sorry. You should be able to unmute yourself now.
Yes, sir. Section 24. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Prophethood of Jesus. The Messiah disdains not to be a servant of Allah. Excuse me. Nor do the angels who are near to him. And whoever disdains his service and is proud, he will gather them all together to himself. Then, as for those who believe and do good, he will pay them fully their rewards and give them more out of his grace. And as for those who disdain and are proud, he will chastise them with painful chastisement, and they will find for themselves, besides Allah, no friend nor helper. O people, manifest proof has indeed come to you from your Lord, and we have sent down to you a clear light. Then, as for those who believe in Allah and hold fast by him, he will admit them to his mercy and grace and guide them to himself on a right path. They ask thee for a decision. Say, Allah gives you a decision concerning the person who has neither parents nor children. If a man dies and he has no son and he has a sister, hers is half of what he leaves, and he shall be her he shall be her heir if she has no son. But if there are two sisters, they shall have 2/3 of what he leaves. And if there are brethren, men and women, then for the male is the like of the portion of two females. Allah makes clear to you, lest you err, and Allah is knower of all things. Chapter 3, the food.
Chapter chapter 5.
Chapter 5. I'm so sorry. Perfection of religion in Islam. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all you who believe, fulfill the obligation. The cattle quadrupeds are allowed to you, except that which is recited to you. not violating the prohibition against game when you are on the pilgrimage. Surely Allah orders what He pleases. O you who believe, violate not the signs of Allah, nor the sacred month, nor the offerings, nor the victims with garlands, nor those repairing to the sacred house, seeking the grace and pleasure of their Lord. And when you are free from pilgrimage obligations, then hunt, and let not hatred of a people, because they hinder you from the sacred mosque, incite you to transgress, and help one another in righteousness and piety, and help one another in sin and aggression, and keep your duty to Allah. Surely Allah is severe in requiting evil. Forbidding to you is that which is dies of itself, and blood and flesh of swine, and that on which any other name than that of Allah has has been invoked, and the strangled animal, and that beaten to death, and that killed by a fall, and that killed by the goring with the horn, and that which wild beasts have eaten, except what you slaughter, and that which is sacrificed on stones set up for idols, and that you seek to divide by arrows. That is a transgression. This day have those who disbelieve despair of your religion, so fear them not and fear me. This day have I perfected for you your religion and completed my favor to you and chosen for you Islam as a religion. But whoever is compelled by hunger, not inclining willfully to sin, then surely Allah is forgiving, merciful. They ask thee as to what is allowed them. Say, the good things are allowed to you, and what you have taught the beasts and the birds of prey, training them to hunt. You teach them of what Allah has taught you. So eat of that which they catch for you, and mention the name of Allah over it, and keep your duty to Allah. Surely Allah is swift in reckoning. This day all good things are made lawful for you, and the food of those who have been given the book is lawful for you, and your food is lawful for them. And so are the chaste from among the believing women, and the chaste from among those who have been given the book before you. When you give them their dowries, take them in marriage, not fornicating, not taking them for paramours in secret. And whoever denies faith, his work indeed is vain, and in the hereafter he is of the losers.
Yes, ma'am. Brother King Cam.
Section 2, duty of uprightness. O you who believe, when you rise up for prayer, wash your faces and your hands up to the elbows, and wipe your heads and wash your feet up to the ankles. And if you are under an obligation, then wash yourselves. And if you are sick or on a journey, or one of you comes from the privy, or you have had contact with women and you cannot find water, betake yourselves to pure earth and wipe your faces and your hands therewith. Allah desires not to place a burden on you, but He wishes to purify you and that He may complete His favor on you so that you may give thanks. And remember Allah's favor on you and His covenant with which He bound you when you said, "We have heard and we obey," and keep your duty to Allah. Surely Allah knows what is in the breast. O you who believe, be upright for Allah, bearers of witness with justice, and let not hatred of a people incite you not to act equitably. Be just, that is nearer to observance of duty, and keep your duty to Allah. Surely Allah is aware of what you do. Allah has promised to those who believe and do good deeds, for them is forgiveness and a mighty reward. And those who disbelieve and reject our messages, such are the companions of the flaming fire. O you who believe, remember Allah's favor on you when a people had determined to stretch out their hands against you, but He withheld their hands from you. And keep your duty to Allah, and on Allah let the believers rely. Section 3, Christian violation of the covenant. And certainly Allah made a covenant with the children of Israel, and we raised up among them 12 chieftains. And Allah said, surely I am with you. If you keep up prayer and pay the poor rate and believe in my messengers and assist them and offer to Allah a goodly gift, I will certainly cover your evil deeds and cause you to enter gardens wherein rivers flow. But whoever among you disbelieves after that, he indeed strays from the right path, right way. But on account of their breaking their covenant, we curse them and harden their hearts. They alter the words from their places and they neglect a portion of that whereof they were reminded. And thou will always discover treachery in them, excepting a few of them. So pardon them and forgive. Surely Allah loves those who do good to others. And with those who say we are Christians, we made a covenant. But they neglected a portion of what whereof they were reminded, so we stirred up enmity and hatred among them to the day of resurrection. And Allah will soon inform them of what they did. O people of the book, indeed, our messenger has come to you, making clear to you much of that which you concealed of the book and passing over much. Indeed, there has come to you from Allah a light and a clear book, whereby Allah guides such as follow his pleasure into the ways of peace and bring them out of darkness into light by his will and guides them to the right path. They indeed disbelieve who say, surely Allah, he is the Messiah, son of Mary. Say, who then could control anything as against Allah when he wished to destroy the Messiah, son of Mary, and his mother, and all those on the earth? And Allah's is the kingdom of the heavens and the earth, and what is between them. He creates what he pleases, and Allah is possessor of power over all things. And the Jews and the Christians say, we are the sons of Allah, and he and his beloved ones. Say, why does he then chastise you for your sins? Nay, you are mortals from among those whom he has created. He forgives whom he pleases and chastises whom he pleases. And Allah's is the kingdom of the heavens and the earth, and what is between them, and to him is the eventual coming. O people of the book, indeed our messenger has come to you, explaining to you after a cessation of the messengers, lest you say, there came not to us a bearer of good news, nor a warner. So indeed a bearer of good news and a warner has come to you, and Allah is possessor of power over all things.
Brother Khalil.
Yes, sir. Section 4, Israelites, violation of the covenant. And when Moses said to his people, O my people, remember the favor of Allah to you when he raised prophets among you and made you kings and gave you what he gave not to any other of the nations. O my people, enter the holy land which Allah has ordained for you, and turn not your backs, for then you will turn back losers. They said, O Moses, therein are a powerful people, and we shall not enter it until they go out from it. If they go out from it, then surely we will enter. 2 men of those who feared, on whom Allah had bestowed a favor, said, enter upon them by the gate, for when you enter it, you will surely be victorious, and put your trust in Allah, if you are believers. They said, O Moses, we will never enter it so long as they are in it. Go therefore thou and thy Lord, and fight, surely here we sit. He said, my Lord, I have control of none but my own self and my brother, so distinguish between us and the transgressing people. He said, it will surely be forbidden to them for 40 years, They will wander about in the land, so grieve not for the transgressing people. Section 5. Cain and Abel murderous plots against the prophet, and relate to them with truth the story of the two sons of Adam when they offered an offering, but it was accepted from one of them and was not accepted from the other. He said, I will certainly kill thee. The other said, Allah accepts only from the dutiful. If thou stretch out thy hand against me to kill me, I shall not stretch out my hand against thee to kill thee. Surely I fear Allah, the Lord of the worlds. I would rather that thou shouldest bear the sin against me and thine own sin. Thus thou wouldest be of the companions of the fire, and that is the recompense of the unjust. At length his mind made it easy for him to kill his brother, so he killed him. So he became one of the losers. Then Allah sent a crow scratching the ground to show him how to cover the dead body of his brother. He said, Woe is me! Am I not able to be as the crow and cover the dead body of my brother? So he became of those who regret. For this reason, we prescribe for the children of Israel that whoever kills a person, unless it be for manslaughter or for mischief in the land, it is though he had killed all men. And whoever saves life, it is as though he had saved the lives of all men. And certainly our messengers came to them with clear arguments. But even after that, many of them commit excesses in the land. The only punishment of those who wage war against Allah and His Messenger and strive to make mischief in the land is that they should be murdered or crucified, or their hands and their feet should be cut off on opposite sides, or they should be imprisoned. This shall be a disgrace for them in this world, and in the hereafter they shall have grievous chastisement. Except those who repent before you overpower them. So know that Allah is forgiving, merciful.
Section 6, Brother Remus. Section 6, Brother Remus.
Yes, sir. Section 6, Assalamu alaikum, family. Section 6, punishment of offenders. O you who believe, keep your duty to Allah and seek means of nearness to Him and strive hard in His way that you may be successful. Those who disbelieve, even if they had all that is in the earth and the like of it with it, to ransom themselves therewith from the chastisement of the day of resurrection, it would not be accepted from them, and theirs is a painful chastisement. They would desire to come forth from the fire, and they will not come forth from it, and theirs is a lasting chastisement. And as for the man and the woman addicted to theft, cut off their hands as a punishment for what they have earned, an exemplary punishment from Allah. And Allah is mighty, wise. But whoever repents after his wrongdoing and reforms, Allah will turn to him mercifully. Surely Allah is forgiving, merciful. Knowest thou not that Allah is He to whom belongs the kingdom of the heavens and the earth? He chastises whom He pleases and forgives whom He pleases. And Allah is possessor of power over all things. O Messenger, let not those grieve thee who hasten to disbelief from among those who say with their mouths, We believe, and their hearts believe not. And from among those who are Jews, they are listeners for the sake of a lie, listeners for another people who have not come to thee. They alter the words after they are put in their proper places, saying, If you are given this, take it. And if you are not given this, be cautious. And he for whom Allah intends temptation, thou controllest not for him against Allah. Those are they whose hearts Allah intends not to purify. For them is disgrace in this world, and for them a grievous chastisement in the hereafter. Listeners for the sake of a lie, devourers of forbidden things. So if they come to thee, judge between them or turn away from them. And if thou turn away from them, they cannot harm thee at all. And if thou judge, judge between them with equity. Surely Allah loves the equitable. And how do they make thee a judge? And they have the Torah, wherein is Allah's judgment. Yet they turn away after that. And these are not believers. Section 7, the Quran and previous scriptures. Surely we revealed the Torah, having guidance and light. By it did the prophets who submitted themselves to Allah judge for the Jews and the rabbis and the doctors of law, because they were required to guard the book of Allah, and they were witnesses thereof. So fear not the people and fear me, and take not a small price for my messages. And whoever judges not by what Allah has revealed, those are the disbelievers. And we prescribe to them in it that life is for life, and eye for eye, and nose for nose, and ear for ear, and tooth for tooth, and for wounds, retaliation. But whoso forgoes it, it shall be an expiation for him. And whoever judges not by what Allah has revealed, those are the wrongdoers. And we sent after them in their footsteps Jesus, son of Mary, verifying that which was before him of the Torah. And we gave him the gospel containing guidance and light, and verifying that which was before it of the Torah, and a guidance and an admonition for the dutiful. And let the people of the gospel judge by that which Allah has revealed in it. And whoever judges not by what Allah has revealed, those are the transgressors. And we have revealed to thee the book with the truth, verifying that which is before it of the book, and a guardian over it. So judge between them by what Allah has revealed, and follow not their low desires, turning away from the truth that has come to thee. For every one of you we appointed a law and a way. And if Allah had pleased, he would have made you a single people, but that he might try you in what he gave you. So vie one with another in virtuous deeds. To Allah you will all return. So he will inform you of that wherein you differ, and that thou shouldest judge between them by what Allah has revealed, and follow not their low desires. And be cautious of them, lest they seduce thee from part of what Allah has revealed to thee. Then if they turn away, know that Allah desires to afflict them from some of their sins, for some of their sins. And surely many of the people are transgressors. Is it then the judgment of ignorance that they desire? And who is better than Allah to judge for a people who are sure?
Section 8, Sister Ebony.
Section 8, Relations of Muslims with Enemies. O you who believe, take not the Jews and the Christians for friends. They are friends of each other. And whoever among you takes them for friends, he is indeed one of them. Surely Allah guides not the unjust people. But thou seest those in whose hearts is a disease, hastening towards them, saying, we fear lest a calamity should befall us. Maybe Allah will bring the victory or a commandment from himself. So they will regret what they hid in their souls. And those who believe will say, are these they who swore by Allah with their most forcible oaths that they were surely with you? Their deeds will bear no fruit, so they will be losers. O you who believe, should any one of you turn back from his religion, then Allah will bring a people whom he loves and who love him, humble towards the believers, mighty against the disbelievers, striving hard in Allah's way and not fearing the censure of any censurer. This is Allah's grace. He gives it to whom he pleases, and Allah is ample giving, knowing. Only Allah is your friend, and His Messenger, and those who believe, those who keep up prayer and pray the poor rate, and they bow down. And whoever takes Allah and His Messenger and those who believe for friend, surely the party of Allah, they shall triumph. Section 9. The Mockers. O you who believe, take not for friends those who take your religion as a mockery and a sport from among those who were given the book before from among those who were given the book before you, and the disbelievers, and keep your duty to Allah if you are believers. And when you call to prayer, they take it as a mockery and a sport. That is because they are a people who understand not. Say, O people of the book, do you find fault with us for aught except that we sorry. Say, O people of the book, do you find fault with us for aught except that we believe in Allah and in that which has been revealed to us and that which was revealed before, while most of you are transgressors? Say, shall I inform you of those worse than this in retribution from Allah? They are those whom Allah has cursed, and upon whom He brought His wrath, and of whom He made apes and swine, and who serve the devil. They are in a worse plight and further astray from the straight path. And when they come to you, they say, we believe, and surely they come in unbelief, and they go forth in it. And Allah knows best what they conceal. And thou seest many of them vying one with another in sin and transgression, and they're devouring illegal gain. Certainly evil is that which they do. Why do not the rabbis and the doctors of law prohibit them from their sinful utterances and their devouring unlawful gain? Certainly evil are the works they do. And the Jews say, the hand of Allah is tied up, their own hands are shackled, and they are cursed for what they say. Nay, both His hands are spread out. He disperses as He pleases, and that which has revealed to thee from thy Lord will certainly make many of them increase in inordinacy and disbelief. And we have cast among them enmity and hatred till the day of resurrection. Whenever they kindle a fire for war, Allah puts it out, and they strive to make mischief in the land, and Allah loves not the mischief makers. And if the people of the book had believed and kept their duty, we would certainly have removed from them their evils, and made them enter gardens of bliss. And if they had observed the Torah and the gospel, and that which is revealed to them from their Lord, they would certainly have eaten from above them, and from beneath their feet. There is a party of them keeping to the moderate course, and most of them, evil is that which they do.
Section 10, Sister Shireen.
Section 10, Christian deviation from the truth. O messenger, deliver that which has been revealed to thee from thy Lord, and if thou do it not, thou hast not delivered the message. And Allah will protect thee from men. Surely Allah guides not the disbelieving people. Say, O people of the book, you follow no good till you observe the Torah and the gospel and that which is revealed to you from your Lord. And surely that which has been revealed to thee from thy Lord will make many of them increase in inordinacy and disbelief. So grieve not for the disbelieving people. Surely those who believe and those who are Jews and the Sabaeans and the Christians, whoever believes in Allah and the last day and does good, they shall have no fear, nor shall they grieve. Certainly, we made a covenant with the children of Israel, and we sent to them messengers. Whenever a messenger came to them with that which their souls desired not, some of them they called liars, and some they even sought to kill. And they thought that there would be no affliction, so they became blind and deaf. Then Allah turned to them mercifully, but many of them again became blind and deaf. And Allah is seer of what they do. Certainly they disbelieve who say, Allah, He is the Messiah, son of Mary. And the Messiah said, O children of Israel, serve Allah, my Lord and your Lord. Surely whoever associates others with Allah, Allah has forbidden to them the garden, and his abode is the fire. And for the wrongdoers there will be no helpers. Certainly they disbelieve who say, Allah is the third of three, and there is no God but one God. And if they desist not from what they say, a painful chastisement will surely befall such of them as disbelieve. Will they not then turn to Allah and ask His forgiveness? And Allah is forgiving, merciful. The Messiah, son of Mary, The Messiah, son of Mary, was only a messenger. Messengers before him had indeed passed away, and his mother was a truthful woman. They both used to eat food. See how we make the messages clear to them? Then behold how they are turned away. Say, do you serve besides Allah that which controls for you neither harm nor good? And Allah, He is the hearing, the knowing. Say, O people of the book, exaggerate not in the matter of your religion unjustly, and follow not the low desires of people who went astray before and led many astray and went astray from the right path.
Section 11, Sister Tornisa.
Section 11, Christians' nearness to Islam. Those who disbelieved from among the children of Israel were cursed by the tongue of David and Jesus, son of Mary. This was because they disobeyed and exceeded the limits. They forbade not one another the hateful things that they did. Evil indeed was what they did. Thou seest many of them befriending those who disbelieve. Certainly, evil is that which their souls send before for them, so that Allah is displeased with them, and in chastisement will they abide. And if they believed in Allah and the Prophet and that which is revealed to him, they would not take for them friends, but most of them are transgressors. Thou wilt certainly find the most violent of people in enmity against the believers to be the Jews and the idolaters, and thou wilt find the nearness in friendship to the believers to be those who say, we are Christians. That is because there are priests and monks among them, and because they are not proud.
That's it. Praise be to Allah. Congratulations, everybody. We have completed day 7. I'm sorry, not day 7. Day 6, part 6 of our Quran reading. If you have something that you would like to share that stood out for you, go ahead and press the number 3 at this time. Go ahead and press the number 3 if there's something that stood out for you. All right, let's go to Brother Remus.
Yes, sir. Sorry about that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man. Okay, beautiful. The thing that stood out to me was the oft repeated reference to Jesus and Mary and Allah, and how they talk about the three. And I just thought about how the skill of the minister, how he talks to our people in our language being Jesus, because that's all we could get in slavery was Jesus, and that's all they would give us really. It was a safe place, the way they were selling us Jesus and the Holy Trinity and the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, and the three are one. And how the minister, growing up Catholic like I did, always having love for Jesus, when I realized I didn't have to cash in my Jesus when I came into Islam, in fact, it just really highlighted Jesus in the proper way, and I could really appreciate it. And then the minister, of course, the way he represents. And I looked around and I said to myself, if Jesus was alive, he would be doing what the minister's doing. As I came into the nation 29 years ago, I said, this would be the work. And so when I saw in here in this part of the Quran, this part 6, it was so many references, even in the last part we just read, Christian nearness to Islam. And it talked about how the ones that are the most vehemently against Islam is the Jews and the idolaters. But then it talked about the Christian nearness to Islam. And just, I thought about how over the years, the minister's so skillful at going right into explaining Jesus to our people and going to the churches and getting our people to understand this wonderful book, the Quran. So I'll leave it right there, big brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, ma'am, Sister Desiree. One of the things that stands out for me when I first came into the Nation of Islam, as you know, there's always many arguments online about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And one of the things that they say, and I'm pretty sure you guys may hear or may be asked as time goes by, well, where is he in the Quran? Where is his name mentioned in the Quran? I'm pretty sure those who are believers and defenders, you have gotten that question. But if you see Surah 164, it says this, and we sent messengers we have mentioned to thee before, and messengers we have not mentioned to thee. And to Moses, Allah addressed his words speaking to him. So I just want to share that, okay, that it says messengers that were not mentioned. Another thing I want to mention, when they say, oh, you listen to me and you follow me and I only follow Allah. Well, how many times have y'all read so far where it says obey Allah and his messenger? Don't disobey Allah and the messengers. Now we already, I think, be lying when we say we don't follow me, and you follow you. Why you got the iPhone then? You didn't come up with the iPhone idea. Why you got the haircut you got? You didn't come up with that haircut you got. See, so we following them. Ain't nothing wrong with following men, especially if they got wisdom and truth. Ain't nothing wrong with following a child, a woman, if they have truth, because we are taught that truth is the boss. But I just want to point that out so that we can have that ammo, trying to give us as much ammo as possible. It clearly says there's some that we didn't mention. So you trying to say, well, where is his name mentioned in there isn't a good argument. And it says to obey his messenger and don't disobey the messenger. So that was one of the first things that stands out to me. Let's go to Brother Daniel 6X.
Yes, sir. Ramadan Mubarak family. There were probably about 2 ayats that stood out to me, maybe 3. The ayat that the brother pointed out, where it was mentioned a lot, ayat 73. Certainly they disbelieve who say Allah is the third of the 3, and there is no God but one God. And if they desist not from what they say, a painful chastisement will surely befall such of them as disbelieve. There's a verse that coincides with that in the Holy Quran where we are told to not exaggerate in regards to your religion. as followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad under the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we are admonished to study the previous communities that received messages and how after the messenger left, they deviate by adding to and taking out of and making men whom came to the community as the supreme being. Now we know there's always one God, Allah, Master Fard Muhammad. Allah who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. And we know that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is his most exalted servant. He is the exalted Christ. And he bows down to the one God. There's always one. And though we have two under the one, which makes three, we understand more about three than the previous community, the Christians. But we would never say that there are three gods. There's only one God, and there are two who disdain not to be a servant of the one. And they become the perfect example of obedience to the will of the one God, Allah, in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. So that stood out to me. And we have one in front of us who shows us how to put religion in its proper state and how to properly worship. Another ayat that comes to my mind from that is when, well, I'll leave that alone. That's slipping my mind. Another ayat 54, which says, "O you who believe, should any one of you turn back from his religion, then Allah will bring a people whom he loves and who love him, humble towards the believers, mighty against the disbelievers, striving hard in Allah's way, and not fearing the censor of any censorer. This is Allah's grace. He gives it to whom he pleases, and Allah is ample giving, knowing." This stands out to me because it really shows a believer the highest mindset that we can take when we are striving to be one with Allah, when we lose thought of being censored, when we are not concerned with what we might lose serving the God and how people write and feel about us, but when we are humble toward the believers, mighty against the disbelievers. And that doesn't mean being combated and wrong for doing to the disbelievers, but being strong and standing firm on those principles and the rightness and humbleness that we're supposed to walk with, irregardless to the price we pay for doing such. We know that we are in Allah's grace when we do such. And the last thing that I wanted to bring up is ayat 8. It says, "O you who believe, be upright for Allah. Bears a witness with justice, and let not hatred of a people incite you not to act equitably. Be just, that is nearer to observance of duty, and keep your duty to Allah. Surely Allah is aware of what you do." This particular ayat reminds me of the mind of a redeemer. The minister said in closing the gap that we have to be all but selfless when we are trying to do this work. And oftentimes in this work, people will, as they say, hate on you. People will hate you just for the fact that you're trying to be right and you seem to be in a jubilee spirit or a wonderful spirit, though you might be afflicted, though you might be hated by many, and they don't understand where this type of love, this type of humility and joy comes from, where in their mind you should be walking around mad at the world. But when you truly believe, you carry that spirit of redemption where you don't want to retaliate and be unjust to people because you might hate what they're doing to you. So that particular verse stood out to me. And also during this Ramadan, it seems that there is a maybe an enhancement of maybe negativity coming, or the negativity that comes in our lives. It might seem to be a little more enhanced during this time of fasting. It might seem that the fast is making things that we deal with normally a little more amped up. But this is Ramadan, and the point of Ramadan is to be in intense heat. And the only way we can be purified, and as the minister said, enhance our heart, expand our breath, is to be tried with that which will show us those negative forces that are in us, where we will have to bow down to be more submissive. So thank you, family.
Yes, sir. Thank you for sharing. Um, there is something. Oh, I want to make a correction. I said ayat 164. I'm sorry. I said Surah 164. I think I meant to say ayat 164 when I mentioned uh, messengers sent that were not mentioned. That's ayat 164. Now I want to go over to ayat Surah 5, ayat number 8. But I want to play a video before I want to play a video before I talk about it. So check this video out. Some of y'all may have seen it, some of y'all may have not.
Do you think Islam is at war with the West?
I think Islam hates us. There's something there that there's a tremendous hatred there. There's a tremendous hatred. We have to get to the bottom of it. There is an unbelievable hatred of us.
In Islam itself?
You're going to have to figure that out, okay? You'll get another Pulitzer, right? But you're going to have to figure that out. But there is a tremendous hatred, and we have to be very vigilant. We have to be very careful, and we can't allow people coming into this country who have this hatred of the United States.
I guess the question is,
and of people that are not Muslim.
All right, so as I listen to that, right? Surah 5. Wait, is that Surah 5? Yeah. Surah 5,
Yeah, Surah 5, 8.
ayat 8. It says, "O you who believe, be upright for Allah, bearers of witness with injustice. And let not hatred of a people incite you not to act equitably. Be just. That is nearer to observance of duty. And keep your duty to Allah. Surely Allah is aware of what you do." So, again, there's this propaganda that goes out. There's these messages that go out that's mischaracterized. We are taught in Islam, and let not the hatred of a people. Now, if there is any hatred, it's due to being aggressed upon. But there's nothing to look into and be careful of unless you're the aggressor. If you're talking about those who are actually following Islam. Because it clearly states here, let not the hatred of a people incite you not to act equitable. Be just. That is near to observance of duty. That's one aspect of it that I saw. Another aspect of it, to bring it down a little bit, it honestly reminds me of my mother and how I would see her keep her duty even if she was upset. I would see her keep her duty even if she was mad. Yeah, that's what that made me. That's what that made me think of. But yeah, don't let a hatred of a people. And another thing, don't let. It's kind of like when we say on the hood level, don't let nobody change you. Man, don't let them change you, baby. Right? So just because of how somebody else is acting, whether if you hate them or they hate you, don't let that change you. Because Allah's looking at how we respond. Allah's looking at how we think. Allah's looking at, are we keeping our duty that we have? Let them do whatever they're going to do. That's between them and Allah. Because we know heaven and hell is a condition. But don't let them change who you are as a human being, who you are as it pertains to your duty. So that was the next thing that stood out to me. And again, that is Surah 5, ayat number 8. Sister Shireen?
Assalamu alaikum. chapter 5, verse 62 and 63. And thou seest many of them vying one with another in sin and transgression, and they're devouring illegal gain. Certainly, evil is that which they do. Why do not the rabbis and the doctors of law prohibit them from their sinful utterances and their devouring unlawful gain? Certainly, evil are the works they do. That makes me just think of this capitalistic Western culture that has oppress the entire world. We can see on a television show or a commercial or whatever gambling videos, hotlines to pick up women, drive down a highway, see, stores for um you know improper intimate contact. And these are all done under a Christian value system in terms of the government, under God we trust, or in God we trust. And you can see on the cooking show, everything they make is with pork and bacon. And there are Jewish people that are on the shows with these people eating this food and promoting they're the producers of the TV shows. So we live in a society where people can gain money doing things that are immoral and against all three of the books in terms of the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Holy Quran. And you don't hear the rabbis or the pastors or anybody in those two faiths condemning such practices that have really thrown our society into a downward spiral that is unstoppable unless they submit to Allah and his current warner among us. So that's what I thought about. Have a great day.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, um, there is a Surah 5 ayat. What is this? Well, really 22 through 26, talking about the children of Israel. It says, they said, O Moses, therein are a powerful people, and we shall not enter it until they go out from it. If they go out from it, then surely we will enter. Two men of those who feared, on whom Allah has bestowed a favor, said, enter upon them by the gate, for when you enter it, you will surely be victorious, and put your trust in Allah if you are believers. They said, O Moses, we will never enter it so long as they are in it. Go therefore, thou and thy Lord, and fight. Surely here we sit. He said, my Lord, I have control of none but my own self and my brother, so distinguish between us the transgressing people. He said, it will surely be forbidden to them for 40 years. They will wander about in the land. So grieve not for the transgressing people. Now, in the footnotes, it refers to Numbers in the Bible, Numbers 13:32, which states they brought up an evil report of the land which they had spied out to the children of Israel. To the children of Israel, saying, the land through which we have gone to spy it out is a land that eats up the inhabitants of it, and all the people who we saw in it are men of great stature. When I look at the footnotes here, it says, all the people that we saw in it are men of great stature, for the murmuring of the Israelites and their refusal to go against the enemy. Then it goes on to say, and Joshua the son of Nun, and Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, not sure, spoke upon the company of the children of Israel, saying, if the Lord delight in us, then he will bring us into this land and give it to us, a land which floweth with milk and honey. Only rebel not ye against the Lord, neither fear ye the people of the land. Their defense is departed from them, and the Lord is with us. Fear them not. Then it says, surely they shall not see the land which I swear unto their fathers, neither shall any of them that provoke me see it. This is Numbers 14:23. Then it says the 40 years spoken of here represents the life of that generation. And basically what I get from that is that Allah is telling them what's theirs, but because they fear what's in the land and they looking at these men of great stature, they're not willing to overcome their fear to get what Allah has promised them and want them to have. So as a result of that, they was found just left wandering in the land for a whole generation. Now that's that history of it, right? Understanding of it. But then I also try to think about, okay, self-improvement. How can I look at this and apply it? There may be some things in our lives that the obstacle looks big. There's some things in our lives where this obstacle looks like a giant. Do you see what is happening? Do you see what this trial, what this difficulty did to those who have been through this? But Allah is saying your reward, son, your reward, daughter, is on the other side of that. Don't fear that, fear me. I'm with you. And if I'm with you, you will be victorious. And this is why I believe the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is able to say, I will be the winner, either living or dead. So that's what I get and what I read from that. And then you have a generation that's left wandering because of your actions. A generation because of your fear. And so the minister says, we all get afraid. He was looking at that bull. Yeah, we all get afraid. But when we seek refuge in Allah and we challenge the fear, sometimes when we challenge the fear jumps in the other person, right? So challenge our fear. And that's what courage is when you are slightly afraid, but you challenging the fear and you overcoming that fear and you're overcoming being afraid. So that's what I, get from that, man. There's some great trials in my life. Man, there are some things that look like, man, it's devouring. But man, I'm not even worried about it. I'm not even caring about it because if Allah is with me and he's saying he's with me as long as we with him and we submit, then we'll be the winners. And then it's saying a land which floweth with milk and honey. So man, you finna get a tray. You finna get a reward from the God, and our reward is on the other side of that which we may fear right now. So what is that we scared to take the leap with? What is that we maybe can't see what it looks like on the other side as far as I never done something like this before, but man, if I overcome it, that's really my goal. It's on this other side. My vision is on this other side if I just take the leap. So that's what stood out for me. Let's go to Sister Nicole. Sister Nicole still here? All right. Let's go to is it Brother Ebony? Is that correct? We got a Brother Ebony?
Sir. No, sir.
Oh, okay. Sister Ebony, go ahead.
Could you just actually come back to me after the next person?
Sure. Sister Bridget?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak. Brother Benex, may I just give a small testimony of these teachings?
Sure.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So, as I was listening, this, as I was listening to you a while ago, this brought me back to when I wanted to start this 10,000 Fearless thing in Jamaica. 10,000 Fearless Men and Women that Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan had talked about in 10-10-15. So I called Student Minister Sharif Mohammed and asked him, you know, how to go about it. So when he sent to me the project in my email, and I went through these pages, I'm like, oh man, I can't manage this. This just to start it up, it's a lot of money. And I remember calling another student minister David, and I'm saying, sir, I'm afraid. And he was like, don't say that. Don't say that, Sister Bridget. Don't say that. And at that time, I think I wasn't praying as much because, you know, sometimes we don't pray as much. But then I started praying, and I started fasting properly as prescribed. And this 10,000 Fearless thing looks like an ant to me. Just some ants passing me. That's what the 10,000 Fearless start looking like to me in my vision. And now I'm up on it. I have started. And I mean, everything looks so simple and easy for me. So, you know, prayer and submission can make obstacles look like insects. Also, Islam, with the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, makes things clear, makes everything clear. It helps me to better understand the Bible. It helps me to better explain to my Christian friends about the Bible. Because Christianity, for me, growing up in Christianity, I still didn't understand what I was in. Things were not explained. You were just going like you see your father going, the Holy Quran would say. You grew up seeing your father doing it, so you think, you know, this is the way. But Islam, with the Holy Quran, it takes you back to the Bible. So you can better understand what is truth and what is false. So the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, in my humble opinion, ignites the gift. Some of us have gift, some of us have gifts. Islam ignites those gifts. And your gifts will make room for you. Brother Ben, I heard you said that on social media. And that just had me looking deep into things. And I went in the scripture, Proverbs 18, verse 16. Your gifts will make room for you. A room don't mean a one bedroom. The earth is yours. That's what it means. So if you love what you're doing, even if you're on vacation, like me, I love social media. So if I'm on vacation, I'll be in my bed on the laptop promoting Islam. I'll be on the beach promoting Islam because I'm not on a vacation. I love my job.
Come on.
And when you love your job, you just want to do it all the time. So I asked myself, why is Allah giving me all this free time? And I remember the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says, when Allah bless you, ask him to make it be a blessing to you, because it can be a curse to you if you don't use it properly. So I ask Allah, I say, Allah, help me to make this spare time a blessing to me. And I'm getting all the time in the world to do his work. And my bills are being paid at the same time. Because the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says, when you do the work of Allah, you don't worry about bills too much. Because it's going to get paid. Because you're doing the work. So yeah, your gifts will make room for you. When you're doing a regular job, you want a vacation. I'm here working for Allah. If I'm tired, I take a nap. and I get back up, it's me and the laptop. It's me, it's my best friend, okay? My best buddy. Because in MGT, we're taught that we can't soldier like men. But I love to soldier. So I said, you know what? Let me soldier on the internet. Let me do some work. And I'm loving it. Praises be to Allah. Thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Man, walaikum salam. You don't know what that just did for me. Praise be to Allah. Thank you for sharing all of those words. My Lord. Clip God came into effect as you was talking though. So I wanted to share this clip to further add to the freedom that Allah grants us and how we should use it. So I want to share this clip from the minister.
It's not enough for zakat to fatten a few. But when God allows some of us in leadership to have an easier life, easier meaning you don't have to worry about the bills that the little man worries about. You don't have to worry about the rent. You don't have to worry about the car note. You don't have to worry about where the next meal is coming from. But we are put in that position so on a higher level we can worry and plan for the people that are suffering, the people that Jesus was concerned with, the people that Muhammad was concerned with, the people that Abraham and the prophets and every great leader was concerned with, the people that Martin Luther King was concerned with, the people that Malcolm X was concerned with, the people that Elijah Muhammad was concerned with, the people that the civil rights strugglers were concerned with. And they were willing to sacrifice their lives to make a difference.
Man. Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. Thank you for sharing that. Let's go to Brother Horace. Going once, going twice. All right. Sister Nicole, were you trying to come off mute? You ready to speak now? Sister Nicole.
I'm sorry, that's me?
Did you press the number 3?
Yeah, I did.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
I wasn't looking at the screen because I was cleaning up my house and everything. And I'm in Vegas, so it's like really early for me. But I woke up and got on the call. I was walking with the nation last year. And
I'm sorry. Are you on Bluetooth?
Oh, yeah.
Can you come off Bluetooth? You'll come in a little clearer.
Okay. Hello?
Hell is low. I can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so yeah, I woke up. I've been trying to wake up in enough time to get on the call because we're 2 hours behind here in Vegas. But it's been in my spirit to come back to the nation. I did Ramadan last year, so I was in the MGT classes and I got my letter accepted the first time, but I was getting so much judgment from close family members, which I never thought would have happened because my life had completely changed 360 for the better. And so what was standing out for me was when you're doing this walk to not worry about the chastisement you're going to get and focus on Allah. That's what mainly stood out for me, and that's my biggest regret. So now I'm like at a war with myself, like the regret pulling on me very strong, and it's I feel like it's something that only Allah can judge me, and not to worry about the judgment of others. If that makes any sense.
Oh, it makes a lot of sense. I believe that is a path that many of us take, when we first come into this, especially when you grow up as a Christian or you grow up something else, it's new, it's awkward. They're afraid, some is out of malice, some is out of hate, some is out of misunderstanding. And then there's a portion of it that's actually out of love. They just don't know, but it says, how would they know unless they be taught? How would they be taught unless one be sent? So as I shared in the group chat the other day, it says that Allah, when he picks, he may not pick the whole family. He picks one out of the whole family. So you may be that one that was picked. And there are those who are speaking, but I'm sure there's those that I found out, there's those who also that's just looking, that ain't said nothing, that ain't sent no text, that ain't called, but they watching, they seeing the growth. And they got questions that they just not asking right now. And sometimes they want to see, are you serious about what you say you want? The Quran, we're going to read where it says, do men think they're going to get away saying they believe and not be tried? Oh, yeah. This ain't going to be no easy road. This is when you come into this, you turn the hard. You go from novice, Hall of Fame. The brothers know what I'm talking about. You put that mug on Hall of Fame, all-star, the hard part of the game. So, but as you do that part, that's how you get better. That's how you get better. And know this, when Allah is pulling on us, stress, the minister teaches us, is lack of duty. And when we know we born for something and we know that something is pulling on me, and man, this is me, this just where I gotta be. When we deny that, yeah, you're gonna be at constant war with yourself. Cause we look, it's like cartoons. You got the angel on one side, and then you got the devil on another side. The angel is saying, this is right. Ooh, this feels right. This is in line with my spirit. This really brings me peace. Oh, in the darkness, boy, sister, this is growing our life. But what your mama gonna say? Yeah, but what your daddy gonna say? But who gonna be? But do you want to suffer persecution? But do you want to go through that? I think you should just do that. You see what I'm saying? Oh, that's the greatest fight. And that's the real jihad. The war not with others, the war with ourselves, the enemy. We can talk about the enemy all day long. Oh, yeah, the enemy, but the enemy, man, that war with self is the greatest fight we're going to have. And that's not going to be the only fight like that. Every level, we're going to have that internal fight. So I would say, sister, if you know this to be true, this is improving your life, don't allow anybody to keep you away from that which will make your life better, because you're going to regret it. And what I'm finding out, man, life do not waste no time. Man, I remember just joining the nation, and I just thought about this during Ramadan. I done been in the nation dang near 8 years now, nearly 10 years, 2015. Man, next year I make 10 years. I'm like, whoa, where did time go? I remember being the youngest in the room. I remember being one of the youngest that said, man, now I'm about to be an elder, finna start doing mentorship with these young brothers. I'm like, man, time is flying. Where is it going? So we don't want to spend 10 years and we look back and say, wow, where could I have been if I just accepted my own? and was being myself. Where could I have been if I would have known that which is making my life better? I done let it go. And so listen, I thought to myself, this is the thought that I had. And this is my real thought when I was younger. When they die, I'm going to be mad in the mug. Now, I know that sounds simple, but that helped me. So my mind said, when they die, though, I'm going to be mad in a mug. Because now they gone. They ain't got no thought. They ain't thinking nothing. Here I am. I could have been in a better position. And I'm not, because of some people that's not even here no more. So I said, no, I got to make this decision for me. Because they going to die one day. And they can't live their life through me. And honestly, I'm in with this. I know people say, oh, y'all believe that Allah came in the person of Master Farmer. Listen, they call that shirt. I believe stuff like this. When we need the cigarette, oh, I need it. When I need to act, I need it to survive. When we're not submitting to the God that came to us, that's calling us, and we submit to something else, that's shirk too. And many of them who talk about we shirk, they every day depending on other than Allah. So, sister, look, seek refuge in Allah. That is the path. He gave us when Master Father Muhammad came, he allowed those things to happen to him to be an example for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Taught him, hey, take plenty. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad told the minister, take plenty. So ain't none of us really gonna come in this thing and have no smooth transition. Pick up your cross, deny yourself. There it is. Deny yourself was the first thing. See, the thoughts we having, I don't know. They gonna say, deny yourself. Pick up that cross and come follow me. And guess what? You gonna be hated for my name's sake. Yeah, you will be persecuted for my name's sake. But blessed is he, that remains steadfast in the trial. Because on the other side of that is something good. And I just don't want us to go 5 years, 6 years with this in the back of our mind. Every night, every morning we get on here and we saying, ooh, this is good. We hear the feedback and say, ooh, I needed that. And then we go back in the world and we looking at this world and the world gonna judge us. And we saying, but I ain't gonna do it because I don't know what this world. Scripture says Satan is the God of this world. In that book, Islam, the restricted law of Islam is our success. The minister asks a question, who's your teacher? And they say, Master Father Muhammad. No, that's who's trying to become your teacher, but he ain't been your teacher. Oh, we done been raised by a devil. We done been raised by an enemy. Sir, in the Quran it says, seek the Satan is asking Allah, hey man, respite me until the day that they're raised. I'm gonna come from the side, from to and fro. I'm coming to get them. Delay my doom. So he has put all type of stuff out there to make us deviate from this type of path. Oh, he'll put it in the parents so the parents can put it in the children. Right? So this is Satan world. We're not worried about what this world is concerned about, because we trying to be a part of that world that's ushering and coming in. Freedom, justice, and equality. So yeah, I know it's hard, man, but listen, that's gonna be that decision. You're gonna thank yourself in about 5 years, 3, you're gonna say, ooh, I thank you. And when you accept the path, don't expect it to be easy. Expect the difficulty to come. Oh, you're going to say, oh, even I come in and even those on the inside, they mean too. Yeah, that's a part of the process. Yeah, some going to be mean. Some going to have an attitude. Yeah, that's a part of the process. But God has to shape us. The minister said, hey, and I'm going to close with this because I know I'm getting a little long, but I know other people is dealing with this. So I want to just give y'all this energy. He said, when Allah wants to shape you and polish you, sometimes he'll put sandpaper around you. Oh, and by the time you able to deal with that sandpaper, you come out and he's polishing you. So be ready for the trial. Be ready for the fire, because in the fire is where we can now, it's like with powder. Now you're molding. You're being shaped, but he gotta burn it first to loosen you up. And he got to get you in a position where, man, I can only depend on him. Then he can shape you and then let you cool off and harden and shape and go into shape. So hopefully that gave you something. Hopefully that gave you some inspiration. And I look forward to you coming back on saying, brother, I went on down there to the mine. I started my processing again. I've been going to my MGT class. I've been going to my study group. And I'm seeking refuge in Allah. And then we're going to hear you on this live more and more and more. And we're going to see your growth from today, March 16th, 2024. That's what I look forward to. So let's move forward to Sister Ebony. You ready?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, so first of all, can I just say, like, I feel like I needed to hear like Sister Bridget and sorry, I missed her name, Sister Nicole. That was so, like, I don't know, that just fired me up. So thank you to both of you for sharing that. And Sister Nicole, like, just keep it up, keep going. And I feel you totally and completely. Like, I'm in the same boat. So we got this. Anyhow, so I wanted to bring up the ending of the part 6, Surah 82, where it said, "Thou will certainly find the most violent of people in enmity against the believers to be Jews and the idolaters, and thou will find the nearest in friendship to believers to be those who say we are Christians. That is because there are priests and monks among them, and because they are not proud." I wanted to bring this up because, you know, in this reading today, there was a lot about, like, you know, enemies and who we take on as friends, as believers. And even yesterday, I believe we were speaking about that. Brother Ben, you brought up, you know, when a lot of people, you know, I guess come against Islam and say, you know, it says to, like, kill them where we find them and whatnot. But you know, you showed that to be untrue. I think it's just important to bring up, and it stood out to me because I feel like sorry, there's another surah too that I wanted to bring up. Chapter I'm not sure which chapter, yeah, but it's in the duty of uprightness, and it said, "And remember Allah's favor on you." This is speaking to the believers, you know, of Islam. "And remember Allah's favor on you and his covenant with which he bound you when you said, 'We have heard and we obey,' and keep your duty to Allah. Surely Allah knows what is in the breasts. O you who believe, be upright for Allah, bearers of witness with justice, and let not hatred of a people incite you not to act equitably. Be just, that is nearer to observance of duty, and keep your duty to Allah. Surely Allah is aware of what you do." I feel like even those last two sisters that I mentioned, like, it's important to note that, you know, being amongst people who believe as you do, and being amongst people who are, you know, striving in the way of Allah and striving to do good, it helps us in our Islam, and also helps them in their Islam, right? Like, like iron sharpens iron. And if we say that, you know, we want to obey and we believe, then it's incumbent on us to, you know, put ourselves in the correct environment to grow and to thrive, and, you know, just be upright, right? Because that's our duty. But I think that the first surah that I mentioned is just a testament that, you know, it's not literal in saying, okay, do not take Christians or Jews, etc., as friends, but more so that surah speaks to the you know, the posture of their heart, the posture of these people's hearts, because it talks about the idolaters, right? You want people, regardless of what they believe, who are believing in what they believe correctly, right? Minister Farrakhan says, you know, a good Christian is a good Jew, is a good Buddhist, etc. If they're being upright in what they believe, naturally, you know, you guys are going to do some of the same things. You guys are going to stay away from some of the same things. You guys are going to be, you know, upright to the one God. So yeah, I just wanted to make that point and say that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Because if I can be honest, when I read that when I first came in, I said, "Wow, man, I gotta let all my Christian friends go." Oh man, I don't know what I done got myself. I said, yeah. Then you look and you grow and you see, well, the minister got friend that's Christian. Well, so when you look at the footnotes, though, that was one of the things I wanted to bring out. It says all non-believers, wherever their own differences, had made common cause against Islam. So context is key at that time. They're against Islam. All right. This is what is meant by they're being friends of each other. The Muslims are warned that they should not accept help or friendship from any party of them, whether Jews, Christians, or idolaters. It would have been weakness of faith in the ultimate triumph of Islam if, from fear of a powerful enemy, they had sought help and friendship here and there among a hostile people. And then it says, as the next verse shows, when two nations are at war, context, when two nations are at war, an individual of one nation having friendly relations with the enemy nation is treated as an enemy. This is exactly what the Quran says here. So, yeah, I just wanted to give y'all that context because I definitely, in my immature understanding, said, well, dang, boy, I gotta let everybody go. So don't go out being mean to your Christian friends, trying. Don't do that today. Let me see. Let's go to Brother Horace. Can I give a testimony? I don't think Brother Horace, I don't know what's going on. Somebody just sent me, proud of myself. Yesterday was my first day this week. I was able to do 4 days fast. Praise be to Allah. Congratulations, brother. One day at a time. Brother Khalil.
Yes, sir. Salam alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Beautiful call this morning. What stood out to me, big bro, is Surah 3. Surah 3 on page 247. It just reminds me of us. It just says, forbidden to you is that which dies of itself in blood and flesh of swine and that on which any other name than Allah has been invoked, and the strangled animal and the beaten to death and the killed by a fall and that killed by goring with a horn. And it goes on to talk about more rules and how we should eat. But then Allah says, this day I have perfected for you your religion and completed my favor to you and chosen for you Islam as a religion. And it just made me think that, Allah has come to undo what has been done, and to make things new. And he's going to do that by reminding us who we really are. And if you don't mind, I was looking at our study guides yesterday, and he said he gave us Islam as the way that he's going to do this. And what is Islam? Islam is our nature. Islam is our true essence. And if you don't mind, Brother Ben, I would like to read the words of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I got this from the study guides, The Will of God, Part 3. He says, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that there is no birth record to Islam. Islam is older than the sun, moon, and stars. Islam did not originate with Prophet Muhammad of Arabia nearly 1400 years ago. Islam did not originate with the Holy Quran. Islam did not originate with the teachings of Moses or the teachings of Abraham. Islam was before Abraham. Islam was before the sun, moon, and stars. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan just continued to remind us he created us from his essence. And so I think that's important because Islam is not a religion, it is our nature. And as we accept our own and be ourselves, we are going to experience a lot of friction because we're coming out of what we've already stated today, a way of life that was not Allah's intended will for us. We're finding out who we truly are, which is Islam. It's not a color, it's not a religion, it's not a nationality. It is the nature of God himself. And that's what he's trying to pour back into us, who we truly are. And so we have to be taught all over again how to eat, how to do many of the things that we've been taught already. And I think his objective is, by giving us Islam, not think, but his objective is to make everything new again and create this world of peace. So that's just what stuck out, and I just wanted to define the word Islam through my readings yesterday. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother Antone.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
It's beautiful how the way the exalted Christ, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, taught us. It takes us to the root. It takes us to the root of everything, and that's how the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is able to fit the shoes and fulfill the prophecy of Messiah, because the Messiah is known to create unity and cause unity where before it was division. And it's beautiful how when we study, we see, like somebody was just speaking on, where it speak about, oh, you who believe, take not the Jews and the Christians for friends. They are friends of each other. But at the end of that verse, it clearly speak on who among these Jews and Christians is talking about. It says, surely Allah guides not the unjust people. So it's those who are being unjust. And if we bring it up to today, like the group of Christians, the evangelists, they heavily tied in with the sect of the Jews that are considered Zionist Jews. They tied in together. And that would be an aspect, looking at it today, of not to take them as friends, because they so tied in together in persecuting our Palestinian brothers and sisters. But what I wanted to really touch on is how we got to remember this, and they try to beat this in our head on YouTube about the Bible is Black history. The Bible is Black history. The Bible is Black history. But it takes us away from seeing the Bible and what it really is, because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the Bible, all the scriptures, is 75% prophecy, and only 25% of these books that we read is history. But if they could blind us into looking at it as a history book, it'll blind us to see that presently we walking through prophecy. And when we read stories about Moses and Aaron, and we read stories speaking about them, we really looking at the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And it's no coincidence that over here, where say when they speak about they was being told to go into a certain land, and it say two men in what's that Surah 5 verse 23, it say two men of those who feared, on whom Allah had bestowed a favor, said, enter upon them by the gate. And the two men, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, has constantly been trying to tell us that this is our land. This is our land. And that's all I wanted to share. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Another thing that stood out for me was this part where Allah says, dang, I lost it. No, I didn't. But whoever repents after his wrongdoing and reforms, Allah will turn to him mercifully. Surely Allah is forgiving, merciful. And it makes me think, how are we with others? If we are to take on Allah's coloring or perspective, and we're made in his image and after his likeness, and we're striving to reflect him, how do we reflect him in that? But whoever repents after his wrongdoing reforms, Allah will turn to him mercifully. Surely Allah is forgiving, merciful. Now, of course, he's the most merciful. Oh, he's the most beneficent. But we can share in those attributes. And I believe this is critical to really building with one another. It says after his wrongdoing, repenting, his reformation, that Allah is merciful. Some of us are not merciful if one repents after their wrongdoing and reforms. And it also makes me think on the flip side of those who don't forgive us. Hey man, Allah will forgive us. You do wrong as all of us do wrong. If it says no, not one are holy. He or she who is without sin, cast your first stone. Press the number one if you ain't got no sin. Ain't gonna be no number ones down there. Right? So if that is true, and we get a lot of mercy from the God, where's our mercy? When Allah is covering you, where's your covering? Right? And when those people don't forgive you and show mercy towards you, just know the perspective of Allah and seek refuge in Allah and keep going and keep growing. And if they don't ever turn towards you in mercy, I'm about to say something. I don't think I should say it. If they don't turn to you in mercy, may Allah bless them. That's the Ramadan way to say it. May Allah bless them with the light of understanding. But yet knowing that and having this in your mind, hopefully can bring you peace to know that, yeah, I mess up. But if Bible says, seek my face, humble themselves, seek my face, pray, turn from their wicked ways, then condition the word, then I will hear from them and heal their land. So if that's the way of the God, hey, you repent, you pray, turn towards them, turn away from your wicked ways, you're not doing that no more, hey, Allah is going to forgive you. Allah is going to hear you. So if you're dealing with that with others, know Allah's thoughts, and also know Allah's thoughts so that we can know how we're supposed to be when people wrongdo us, when things happen, how we're supposed to look. We look at the minister. Oh, the minister's so forgiving. Look at how loving he is. Look at how patient he is. Now, we got that hashtag, we are Farrakhan. But we Farrakhan when it's time to be fired up on social media. We Farrakhan when it's time to weaponize it and use it to really get at your brother, get at your sister. But where's the we are Farrakhan when it's patience, when it's forgiving, when it's loving, when it's long suffering? Oh, we take that hashtag off. Well, I'm me. I ain't him. Oh, that we that's how we are when it's time, when those times, but it's those times that make him Farrakhan. It's because man, that's my fight. He's gonna be stern, but he's also going to be forgiving. He's going to tell us right, but he's also going to love us. He's going to be patient with us. That's what make him him. So if we don't want to accept that and we just and we us, we us when during hard time, then let's stop playing with the we are. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we all in growth process, but that's what we should be striving for. I'm not saying today if you ain't but we should at least strive and know that that's the right way. You know what I mean? That we should eventually get to. So yeah, that's one of the other things that stood out to me. And that was Surah 5 or chapter 5, ayat 39, for those who be asking. Ayat 39. All right. Up next, Sister Brianna. Sister Brianna still here?
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Walaikum salam.
So when the sister was speaking, it made me think. A couple of people, but it made me think of this reminder. Reminders are blessings. Is that submission is not what we want it to look like. I was speaking to one of my friends the other day, and she's in processing class, and she was talking about how someone came up to her and said that she wants to change her life and all that stuff. And I was like, "Oh, did you invite her out?" She was like, "No, I don't want to be her friend. She's annoying." I'm like, "Girl, that doesn't matter. Like, the work is to get the people, right?" And I was speaking to another one of my friends. I used to not do wudu, ablution, like the wash before prayer, correctly. I used to do it once real good, right? And my friend's like, "Why don't you do it 3 times?" Like, submission is not what we want. It's not what we think. It is just submitting. Like, that's a part of it. So, reminders of blessings. I need to hear that. So, I hope it helps somebody.
Praise be to Allah. I was looking for you to say, Assalamu alaikum, fine folk. I guess you done changed it up a little bit. Let's go to, let me share something about what you just said. Funny story. Some of y'all have heard me tell it. When y'all get up in the morning and you do your prayer early in the morning, you better wash your face. You better get up and do something. Don't just get up and say, all right, let me make my prayer. Listen, if we didn't have to cover, I would show y'all my back. My back got a bunch of whips on it, like scars on my back. I'm talking about deep scars. Not a bunch of them, but a few of them. Let me tell you how I got them. This is about 2016, maybe 17, but I think it was a little closer to that. Man, look, I get up for prayer. It's like 5 o'clock. It's still dark in the house. I don't even think I turned the light on. I'm young. I'm in it. Okay, gotta get up and do my prayer. This during Ramadan, right? Man, I'm getting up for prayer, man. So there's a mirror. There's a mirror behind me, right? So the bathroom is here. There's a mirror. So I come in, boom. I'm doing my prayer. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the world, the beneficent, the merciful. Man, boom! Boy, I fell into the window, y'all. I'm talking about sleep, standing up, doing my prayer, fell asleep during the prayer. Boom, fall into the glass. I'm talking about glass all in my back. Cuts. Luckily, my cousin was there. Man, he had to pick the glass out my back, man. We had to go to the hospital. I had to get stitched up because during prayer, man, I done fell into the dang glass mid-prayer. Allah said, I bet you won't do that no more. Boy, after that day, I got up, boy, make sure that, boy, I'm throwing water in my face, boy, making sure I'm up, boy. So, hey, man, y'all be careful. I don't want that to happen to none of y'all now. Get up, use some jumping jacks or something. Get that blood flowing. Don't be praying half sleep, man. I learned my lesson years ago. Years ago. All right, let's go to Brother King Cam.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Listening to everybody and their testimonial and feedback this morning, man. I really didn't have much to add because y'all was really hitting on all of the points. I think, a little nugget that could just be dropped is, as we listen to these and read these Quranic verses, the Ramadan spirit and the spirit that God gives us and read and allows us to read these verses, man, fills us with a spirit of love. Because in the Quran, as it mentioned, not to take Jews or Christians as friends, but then later in the Quran it said, but those who believe, Jews, Christians, and Sabians, right, and believe in the judgment. So it's conditional based on the time and the context in which Brother Ben clarified for us earlier, in which the Quran was speaking. So I just want us to, take the truth that the Quran is teaching us with a spirit of love, because there are Christians who are on this call. There are friends of mine I invited that are Christians that are on this call that are participating in Ramadan with us, and it's a family affair, you know? So don't take out of context what the Holy Quran is saying and create division amongst ourselves when Allah, who came to us in the person of Master Father Muhammad, comes to unite the human family, comes to bring oneness to the Ummah, comes to make all things new, so there's one religion under one God and one baptism. So as we read these scriptures, especially about the beloved Jesus, it helps us to put Jesus in the proper perspective, not diminishing him. Because sometimes people will read this and take it in the spirit of the diminishment of Jesus, when it's not the diminishment of Jesus. It's Allah is showing us love and mercy by shining the light on Jesus, so that we see him properly, so that we don't mishandle Jesus, so we don't push him around in our mind in the wrong way that will put us at odds against Almighty God. So the beauty in the Quran is that he contextualizes and highlights and put into its proper place things that have been taken out of context in the Torah and in the gospel. This is throughout the Holy Quran. It tells us that words have been removed and been adjusted and have been put here and placed here for confusion. So if we are true lovers of truth and really want to unite, then we want to dispel all of the confusion. So the confusion goes away. The darkness that the Bible talks about goes away when light comes. And light dispels the darkness, and that light is the Holy Quran that sheds light on all of the corruption that took place before, so that we can all come into the oneness of God and we can become family again under the righteous teaching of the messenger, under the leadership of Almighty God. So I want us to walk away today with our Christian family, our Jewish family, in love from the perspective that we have received today, so that we can put the beloved Jesus in the proper context and continue to feed on the word, so that it will increase our love for him. But in the increasing in our love for him, we don't slip into idolatry, because the Holy Quran is teaching us that those who have set up rivals or partners against Almighty God, Allah, have now become idolatrous. And we don't want to become idolatrous. We just want to be super lovers of the messenger of Almighty God, Allah, who represents to us the love and the mercy and the wisdom and the power of Almighty God himself, which ultimately helps us become in oneness with Almighty God. So I want us to walk away with what we heard today with love. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Man, I just want to give a shout out to Brother King Cam. Man, I've seen this brother grow over the years, man, and I can hear the level of study And the results from being in that ministry class, man, I mean, Allah is just expanding his breasts. Every time he speaks, man, he's giving us depth. He's giving us that word, man. Praise be to Allah. Proud of that brother, man. That brother growing like a mug. Let's go to Sister Yatira.
Praise be to Allah. Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak, family. This has been just absolutely beautiful. Brother Ben, you was teaching to Sister Nicole's question, and that's why I raised my hand. I raised my hand to say to Sister Nicole, to encourage you, sis, to keep the fight, stay in that fight, and to bear witness to that, because I have a testimony, and like Brother Ben said, most of us do, especially as it relates to the family component. And basically that, when I came into the nation, my background is actually Judaism. My father was a rabbi, a Black rabbi, and my parents divorced when I was young, but we still grew up under the title of Jew. And after the divorce, however, we didn't actually really practice. We weren't really practicing anything. We might have celebrated Hanukkah here or there for the gifts, but that was like it. But I'm saying that to say that when I came into Islam, my mother, vehemently opposed me. And we grew up very close knit, me and my there's 5 of us sisters. And so for her to reject me so just in my face, not like, oh, it was just like a fight. I really had to come in on my own faith and on my own strength. Really was obviously Allah. But I related to the scripture in the Bible of Job. And that was always my favorite scripture, growing up. So coming in, knowing, that's to the point, it was said, I think Brother Ben actually said it, about, knowing that there's going to be a struggle, that there's going to be a trial, thinking about it from the perspective of what's in the Holy Quran. That's what he raised about, basically, do men not say that they believe, but do they think that they can say that without being tried? So it's literally an open book test. If you believe that what you're hearing is good and is right and it's for your betterment, then stand on that. That alone is it. The getting this from your family, they say when you start a business, the first people that you go to is your family and friends. Not just because these are the people on one side, it's like it helps you to loosen up when you're going out to other people, but these are your first tests. But if you can get over the pain or the disappointment, that which will come from the people that are closest to you, then it becomes easier for you to be able to do so when you are now amongst strangers. Now once you're amongst people that you have no knowledge of, that you can't see, that you don't know, rather. And the other point that I was going to make to that is, Brother Ben also mentioned the Joseph in the family. Knowing what you know about the teaching, that allowing those 2 things to be the foundation that you're walking on. That number 1, I believe that this is good. This is beneficial to me in my personal life. And that you believe that it's good for others, that being the foundation for you, move on that. Because it's kind of like if you painted a dramatic picture, for the sake of this example, that if getting away from smoking or drinking, we can clearly see the devastation of smoking and drinking, and we know that it harms us. And if you say to your people, your family, and say, I'm going to leave this alone, I'm done with that, I don't want to do it, and they want to ridicule you, oh, you done with that, oh, now you want to be healthy, oh, you want to be health conscious now, and they want to ridicule about it, it's like, okay, yeah, I do. Like, it doesn't matter if they beat you down about that. So it's the same thing when it comes to this spiritual teaching, because really the spiritual teaching from the spiritual teaching is why and what comes from the physical activity that our hands do. So for those of us who do smoke and drink, well, there's a spiritual disconnect there even. So keeping that in mind, that you may be the difference maker for the people in your life that you may be the ability for them to be saved. Because who else is going to, if they're not listening to the minister, there's still people out here who haven't heard of Farrakhan. So if you are going to be the difference maker to say, sometimes it don't always have to be like, hey, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan told us to do that. No, you don't always have to do that. Hey, I'm canning. I'm learning how to can. I'm learning how to save, preserve food. I'm storing Navy beans in my home. Or even if you are dealing with current events, things that's going on in the news, well, we need to prepare. We need to have this food and water and first aid. You know, you just living it, you being it, because you know how we are as a people. I don't believe none until I see it. That's just the reality of how we do things, right? So in that, then again, you can be that difference maker that will be a saving grace, you know, for your friends and family. So that was for years. I came into the nation in 2012. My mother just sent me a text a few weeks ago telling me that she was proud of me, telling me that I was doing something good in pre-K. She found like an old pre-K progress report. And she was like, you know, you've always been good or whatever with people. And she's like, and I just noticed you're doing your life's work too. And I'm proud of you. So for me to get that 12 years later, praise be to Allah. But I will say this, it is a blessing that Allah allowed, you know, for him to give me that type of, you know, comfort or reassurance. You know, that was beautiful. But the 12 years before here, I had to remain steadfast. So even though she was seeing my life change, even though she was seeing my life improve, even though she was seeing the increase in the growth, that wasn't necessarily enough. It was still this jug, oh, you still doing that? Oh, okay. Even though that was still coming, I had to stay on my post. And that only strengthened me. Because the Holy Quran say that those who disbelieve, they're not satisfied until they turn you back. So reading this is fueling me.
That's right.
That's why reading this is an open book test. But I close with just saying, even if she never texted that to me, I can see and I know the benefit that it has given to me in my personal life and the other people who I have touched by me making this change in mind. So you continue to do that as well, beloved. Thank you, Brother Ben. Assalamu alaikum.
Praise be to Allah. Great teaching. Yes, ma'am. Great teaching. We got Brother Rashid. Man, this is powerful, man. My Lord. All right. Let's go to Brother Jaden.
Sorry about that. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention the mentioning of the purification that was talked about earlier today. It also was discussed yesterday, and there's a importance and in that, and so like we have to be mindful to always ensure that we're in wudu and in a purified state when coming to Allah, especially like when praying, and then also like reading the Quran, because there's a certain protection that comes with that. I remember when I went to visit my dad's country in Mauritania, there was like a lot of the times the water cuts off, and so like we do have to go like to the earth and like clean sand and ensure that there's no animal droppings and things like that, and just use that as a substitute when performing ablution. And then also that there are certain acts that will, where wudu is not sufficient, we actually have to go in to do like the actual bath from head to toe. And so to always be mindful of that, because like the ablution and the wudu is a covering and a protection from Allah. So thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Up next, Brother Jaden. And is that Brother Jaden from Instagram?
Yes, it is.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum. I just wanted to share that I had been agnostic all my life, but recently I decided to sit down and talk to Allah after realizing I'm not sure where I'm heading in life. And in that talk with Allah, He revealed a lot about myself that I did not know. Back in 2020, I lost my father due to a heart attack, and my entire family was lost. Even though I was with my family, I was without God, and my situation was not improving. I had this deep gut feeling that I had to get right with God. And I never allowed myself to fully commit to God because I was fearful. I started thinking about, the what ifs, what if this doesn't work out? But, after speaking with Allah, I shed a few tears, some for guilt. I felt bad for pushing away God because I was scared. I was scared and not ready to commit to, change. But I felt his love. I felt his welcoming love and forgiveness. And I just cried. I cried and I thought of my father, I thought of my mother, and I thought of my family. And for the first time in forever, I felt true and genuine faith. After this, I had opened Instagram and I saw a video that you had posted. It was about the Minister Farrakhan speaking about how we need to submit immediately to God and we should not come to God on our own terms. And after watching that video, I realized that I didn't just talk to Allah. I didn't just pray. Allah talked to me. He was always with me. And even when I wasn't ready to submit to God, he was always with me, waiting for me to, realize this. I just wanted to say that that changed my perspective entirely. I went from saying I don't know if God exists to praying and reading ayats from the Quran. And what you said about sometimes Allah plucks one person from a family really wowed me. My whole family is African, serious Christians. I was fearful about taking this step because I wasn't sure what my Christian family would say. But now I know this is my faith. I know this is my path. So yes, that's all I wanted to say. I just want to, thank you for posting that video of the minister and thank you for allowing me to speak. Assalamu alaikum. And I hope that these words, help somebody, take that step too.
Man, praise be to Allah. How young are you?
I'm 19.
19. Come on, man. Praise be to Allah. Wow, man. Look at this, man. Ooh, young brother sharp, ain't it, man? I told y'all I'm getting old. I can call somebody young brother now. Look at the young brother. Young brother sharp, boy.
Thank you.
Wow, man. I feel like, dang, 19 was about, man, almost 10 years ago. Praise be to Allah. Thank you for sharing that story with us, brother. Man, that's deep. 19 years young. Brother Tony?
Assalamu alaikum, family.
Walaikum salam.
Real quick, bro, man. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for this platform. And thank everyone for showing up and showing out. Praise be to Allah. And I love the story you just gave us about you waking up in the morning or thought you were woke and fell back and cut your back. I thank Allah for allowing you to make it through that. But it made me think of when we do our prayers in the morning, it's the only time when we call the Adhan and we say, As-salatu kadu me naum. And that is simply saying prayer is better than sleep. And this ritual that we do that we call prayer and wudu and cleaning ourselves up and giving ourselves to Allah and being the first of Allah's creation, we're the first one up. We beat the sun up, right? All praises be to Allah. And just listening to everyone, it brought me to mind of a saying of the most honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, or should I say the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And the minister said that the most dangerous thing in the world is a made-up mind. I'm going to say it again. The most dangerous thing in the world is a made-up mind. So any difficulties that we may be having, any struggles that we may be having, we have to go through the struggles in order to get balance. And when our minds are made up, when our minds are determined, when our will and our desire are so strong that nothing can break it, then we're coming into the mindset of Allah. And these are the vicissitudes that we're taught in the study guides that we have to go through. We have to go through pain. We have to go through struggle. And when we're in a fight or we're preparing for a fight, we might be shadow boxing, the minister said. He said, when you shadow box, it looks good when you're shadow boxing by yourself. He said, but when somebody gets in the ring, then you really get to see who you are. You might get knocked out in the first round. Excuse me, you might get knocked out in the first round. But if we continue to study and we use the Quran as a guide, one of the names of the Quran is Farrakhan, one who is able to distinguish truth from falsehood. Another name for the Quran is called the light, right? And this light in this time of darkness of this world, if we follow the guidance and the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad as taught by Minister Louis Farrakhan, then we can all overcome any obstacle in our path. We have to be determined to win our families over, win our friends over. They smoke, I don't smoke, right? They drink, I don't drink. And I have to stand on my principles like they stand on theirs. And your friends will try you. I'm a 3-time loser in and out of prison. Spent 19 years of my life in and out of prison. And I've been around a lot of negativity my whole life. And as a youngster, I said that when I get older, then I'm going to submit myself to Allah. But when I was 27 years old and I was faced with 9, 10 years in federal prison, I began to ask myself questions. And I had to ask myself, is this the way you want to live the rest of your life? And as I began to change my life and made up my mind, then I was able to overcome all of the obstacles in my path. Now I'm happily a grandfather. I'm happily a brother. I'm happily a brother striving hard for the cause of Islam as well as we are. So I thank you, Brother Ben, for doing what you're doing. I thank you for this platform, and it's very valuable because in this platform we have all ethnicities, all types of backgrounds, all genders, and we all are striving for freedom, justice, and equality. And we are attracting people, and the power is in the people, and God is in the people. And we must come together as one community to put God's nation on the planet Earth. So I greet you in the Arabic words of peace, spoken by the righteous. Assalamu alaikum. It simply means peace be unto you. And may you all have a beautiful and wonderful and joyous day. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Praise be to Allah. All right, we got 3 more left, and then we're gonna close out. And remember, family, because I know some people are leaving. We got the class, the Salat class, the prayer class today at 3 p.m. Central Time. Same Zoom link, so don't ask. Same Zoom link. We're gonna hop on the same link. We're gonna be on at 3 p.m. Central Time today. Brother Remus.
Yes, sir. Sorry about that. Man, loving the call. Let them find firmness in you, it says in the Quran. And man, to bear witness to the minister in this hour, to me, that's a test. A lot of brothers got the name Muhammad when I did at Savior's Day. I think it was 96. And came home, a lot of brothers, they didn't change their name on their driver's license. It was kind of an idea, like they didn't want to get pulled over, and then it looked like, oh, damn, the cops know I'm Muhammad. They wanted to still be, Johnny Thompson, even though in the nation it was Johnny 3X or something like that. Just made that up, by the way. But made the part up about just Johnny. But that was a real thought amongst a lot of people and not bearing witness. And so when I watched the minister on Donahue, back to your point, Brother Ben, when you played the clip, Brother, come call you Brother Clip, of Donald Trump, and you were talking about Ayat 8. Ayat 8 there. And let not hatred of a people incite you to not to act unjustly, to act unjustly. And I think about how to minister, man. Many of us would marvel at, like back in the day, old timers compared to y'all. If Brother Ben is an old timer, then I got to say old timers. Because like the brothers that I saw when I was coming in 29 years ago, man, it was this idea of playing the dozens, and you don't get pulled off your, like, okay, that was a good jab, but you come back with some more words, your mama, and it was this kind of mindset, like you don't want to get like in your feelings. It was a real thing. And so watching the minister just smile through on Donahue and with Mike Wallace's show and just the smoothness and like never backing up off his point, but he just almost sometimes get even lower in his volume and just begin to talk the perfect representation of the minister representing the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I watched him always representing, thus saith Elijah. Thus saith Elijah. And my teacher taught me, and so humble. And the most humble Elijah Muhammad said, this is a brother, talking about Mr. Farrakhan, that he'll get you to the other side. And he won't say, look what I did. He gonna say, look what Allah has done. I don't know if y'all realize the power and what that takes to not take the credit for what is Allah's that's running through us. And we come to these points of like, man, and it's easy to get like, I did this. Look at me. Wow, I submitted to it. And now look at what I'm doing. And just that quick slip on the banana peel. Look what Allah has done. And to not bear witness to this man in our midst. And we have a thing in the nation where we drill. for those that don't know, sisters and the brothers. And it's cool, go to Savior's Day and see the drill competition. And, oh man, it looks so, you might think you at an HBCU or something like, oh, look at that. Okay. They step in. But up under it is you learn the Muhammad said, not Simon said. If you're in the nation, you know what I'm talking about. It's you begin to take instructions from Muhammad. Muhammad said, if Muhammad don't say turn to the left, you don't turn to the left. You got to wait on the instruction. And getting instructions from Black people, as Black people, you know how monumental that is? You want to absolutely confront self? Start to listen, to take instruction from a Black person. Boy, you're going to wake up some history. You're going to realize, what is it in me that just don't want to submit? And especially the darker of us as Black people. So, but that's something that I remember coming in. I said, Allah, don't let me punk out on Farrakhan. Boy, man, where I come from, turning on your people, man, is not a good look. Turning on your neighborhood, turning on your mama and them. Boy, and as I began to learn and watch Jesus work through Farrakhan, it was crystal clear to me. I told the sister, she's a nun in call them nuns and stuff like that, with the Chaminade University in Hawaii. I said, I never see you going into the hood, Palolo Valley. I see you preaching at the chapel, and I'm going to the chapel every Sunday, and in church like that, and Hawaii, 3,000 miles from home, don't know nobody out there, 18. But I said, Sister Joan Chatfield, I never see you go to Palolo Valley. That's like saying you're in LA. I never see you go to Nickerson Gardens. I never see you go to Palmyra. I never see you go over there where Training Day was filmed in the jungle. But you over here like basically in Beverly Hills, and that's cool. People got all this money. But and I just said, but to me, Jesus would be over there. It's before coming into the nation. And that really, I said, man, the courage I know it takes to talk the way this man talked. I said, Lord, let me be like that. That's goal number one. Let me have the courage to stand in front of the Donahues and bring this Muslim program to Congress. I say, we as a nation, we're going to do that real soon. We got to bring our program to Congress and say, there ain't no secrets. Y'all already know. This is what we building. This is our vote. We ain't voting for Trump or Biden. We don't have no hope in the Democrat or the Republican. We got hope in building a whole new reality. We deserve this when you study the Muslim program and that final call. Man, it ain't just some little bitty paper, boys, like the minister was saying earlier. But I just saw that and I said that the way he represents, and you learn as you stick around the nation, the fine tuning brothers and sisters will let you know, look, brother, you can't represent like that. Out of love, brother, you got to smooth it out. You can't just be running people away. You can't just, you causing, and this is like, oh man, all that energy, all that fire, you have to slow it down and you have to meet the people where they are. And then you got to speak to it from that angle. So there's so much in there, but I just appreciate that. And it's again, letting them see the firmness in our commitment as the days unfold, as we watch Rafah in the days to come with Netanyahu and Biden and Chuck Schumer, for those that study in CNN these days, and Bonnie Willis in the air, and they coming at her. And, oh, we thought, you watching the rise of Black folks in your midst. So we got to be smooth and not make the mistakes of all these people around us, because we definitely being exalted. And so we got to make sure that they don't be looking at us years from now talking about, wait a minute, y'all turning into like the Jews. Y'all turning into, you got to be smooth with it as we move forward. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you, beloved.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We have MGT Home Based Solutions. Gina M.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum,
Alaikum
Ramadan
salam.
Mubarak. I just want to just say a little bit because I've been going through a lot this year. Allah, and I'm not going to say it's a burden, but Allah has put on me my 89-year-old mother with dementia, and who had Bell's palsy in 2016, and I take care of her full time. And it's been a trial, but it's been a great trial, because I had started to stray because of the weightiness of it. And I started in my heart and in my mind and in my soul, and speaking to Allah all the time and asking him to help me. Because I had one problem, which I'm not going to say what it is because that's between me and him, but, to help me solve this problem. And he kept giving me so many confirmations all the way up through Savior's Day. I mean, he even put me beside a sister that was out for 15 years that came back. And I was like, he's just giving me confirmations. And I made a promise to him that with this Ramadan that I was going to do better. And it's been such a blessing because the issue I have been dealing with, I have not succumbed to it since we started Ramadan. And I've been feeling so good about it. He's brought my confidence and everything back up. And being on this line, Brother Ben, you've met me before. I'm out of mosque number 12 in Philadelphia. And I've always admired you because as a young brother, and I heard the minister telling me that you'll never be broke. I remember that. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, wow. And to be able to be on this every morning, because I wasn't getting up for saying my prayers, my Fajr prayer. I would say my prayers during the course of the day, but I wouldn't get up for Fajr. I would lay in the bed. And I'm so grateful that now I'm up every morning at 4 o'clock, preparing myself, making my Fajr prayer. I'm making my 5 prayers every day. And I'm just so grateful. And I love this, this call that you do, because after we read, and that's even helping me with reading the Quran, that we have these discussions and listening to everybody. It's another confirmation. You know what I'm saying? Let me know that you're not by yourself. We're all going through things. And yes, Allah is going to try. You're going to be on trial when you succumb and give yourself to him. And so I just want to thank you and thank everybody that's been on here, because it's been such a blessing to me. And, and even with now through Ramadan, like my mom, she's in the hospital because a couple days ago, like Wednesday morning, she couldn't walk because her legs were getting weak. So she's in the hospital and they're going to rehab her. But with her dementia, her not being in her normal environment where she can remember that, where she can identify and feel comfortable and safe. She had an episode yesterday, and after study group, I got a call from the hospital, and the sister that brought me to the mosque and was bringing me home, she took me to the hospital, and I prayed along the way. And I said, "Oh Allah, please let her calm down," because I felt like with her being out of her environment, when she saw me, that would make it even worse, because she wants to come home, but she has to rehab because I can't lift her and stuff, and so she has to be to a certain point where she can get around it, and what she's a trooper, but like she's 89 years old, getting ready to be 90. Her birthday, she's following right behind the minister. He turned 91, she turns 90. He's in May, she's in June, and she's even though she's not Muslim, ever since I have embraced Islam in 2007, she has been there supporting me. Matter of fact, she's come to the mosque so much. She's come to iftars. She's come just to hear the word. I mean, she's going to our cookouts and everything. She's done a lot, to the point, even in her mind state now, she asked if she could join, but she can't remember, and to take us to write her letter or anything like that, or be able to recite anything. But the fact that she wanted to, and she talks to the sisters when she goes to the mosque, she talks to them, and they love her. They all call her mom and know her. And I just wanted to say that and thank you. My heart is full, and I'm so grateful. I'm really so grateful, because I felt like I was losing so much. And this has helped me so much to come back to myself and gain my strength. So that's all I want to say. And I pray that everybody has a successful Ramadan.
Man, all praise is due to Allah. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Yeah, y'all feedback is so impactful, man. I mean, you don't even know, man, certain things that y'all say, it be the right thing, man, I just got some news yesterday as well. Not so good news. But in that not so good news, it made me think about my mom as well. I ain't gonna go into that, but yeah, man. When y'all share this stuff, man, it be consoling, man. So Allah really be putting it on y'all hearts to say certain things. But praise be to Allah that the call is able to do that. And the teachings is able to do that. And that's a blessing, man, that she even has the desire to join. That made me think, man, the minister say, man, shoot, we are all lost, found members of this Nation of Islam, whether registered or not. That's beautiful. So yeah, praise be to Allah. Let's go to Sister Shireen.
Assalamu alaikum. I knew you was gonna put me after a sister that done brought everybody to tears and in here praying and stuff. Um, what came to me a little while ago when you and the sister was talking about 10,000 fearless was that work cheerfully and fear not. That's in our lessons. And I was praying that this will be the Ramadan that I can burn off the fear of being myself and walking in my purpose. I feel like I do the moonwalk every time I'm real close to actualizing and going forward. And then something will be like, it ain't the time, or somebody will say something to diminish what I have accomplished, and then I retreat. And I don't want to keep doing that. I'm overdoing that because, like, I was riding in the car the other day. I was on my way to work, but I was listening to y'all, and I had the thought, okay, Allah created himself. And then after he created himself, he created everything else. So he had to have created me. And if he created me, now I'm talking to Allah, I'm saying, so if you created me, then you have to be in me. And if you said that if I do as you do and I am the way you want me to be, then I will be successful, then I have to I'm violating you if I don't believe I can do it, because you said be and it is. So why don't I just be and let it happen? So this is me working it out, trying to prove to myself that Allah is in me and that I can actually do it. And I'm like, how the heck did I get to the place where I can't even believe in myself to do simple things, to do small things? What the hell happened? You know what I mean? And going back in my mind, excuse me for saying that during Ramadan, but like, this is my sincere thought of what happened to me to make me so paralyzed that I can go forward. I can go hard when I'm helping other people. I can execute their dreams, their plans. I could pull it out of them. I can help them lay it down. And then when it's me, pause, So I want this to be the Ramadan where I come out of this having my faith so strong, and that I do the work and I'm cheerful when I'm doing the work. I'm not getting overwhelmed. I'm not getting mad and frustrated and spazzing and, blowing up the moon. I just want to really, he said, work cheerfully and fear not. And that's not to say the fear is not going to come, but it should not be the prevalent emotion and experience that I remain in. I could get in it and dip right out of it. And the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad had fear because Master Farad Muhammad told him, don't be afraid, fear not. He told him believer posted a letter that Master Farad Muhammad wrote to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And he said, I could tell, he said something to the effect, don't cry. I could see you crying now, but you got this. He put, and when he left him, he put Psalms 23 in his hand. And he told him, you got this. The minister has felt the fear. So we're going to feel it, But that can't be the thing that we just lay to bed and cover ourselves up and don't do nothing. We got to do this. This is the time we've been waiting for. We've been born for this time. So that's it. Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Kareem. And that Psalms 23, y'all, is the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Praise be to Allah. For those of you all who was asking for the link to the books, Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, I think I took it back. Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews and How White Folks Got So Rich. That's inside the Telegram. So if y'all want to order that bundle, it's going to come with that. Plus Final Call newspaper is going to be in the package as well. So if y'all want to order that, the link I put inside the Telegram yesterday. And I think Sister Randisha put it inside the Zoom. I want to play this message, if y'all don't mind, from the minister. Because I'm hearing the theme of people coming in, but you got Christian family. You coming in, but you got Christian. You got family that's not Muslim. And I'm sure right now you're focused on self, but eventually, as you get in and you have became sure, like Sister Yatira was talking about, you're gonna want to teach. You're gonna want to learn, as the minister said yesterday, how to skillfully deal with them. Do any of y'all interested in hearing something? Press the number 3. If not, we can go ahead and close out. But if there's something y'all interested in, I want to share that with y'all from the minister, because y'all know as we read this Quran, we're going to hear where it says, and it may have already said it, Allah accepts nothing besides Islam. Now, we know the minister has spoken at churches. Wow, the minister has spoken at this church, this Baptist church, this. And the brother asked him the question, why you don't tell them that? Oh, and the minister answer was so beautiful. So as we deal on social media, as we deal with our brothers and sisters, this video, if you listen carefully and write down the framework that the minister about to lay down for us, oh, we're going to be some skillful fishermen. Okay? So here we go. I'm about to give y'all this. Oh, boy, y'all getting a lot today. Man, today has been good, man. Uplifting my spirits. Here we go.
Yes, brother. Walaikum salam.
I've heard you say several times that you're welcome into Baptist churches because you're not trying to convert the congregation into Islam. I'm pretty sure it's in Elijah Muhammad's book, Message to the Black Man, where he says that on Judgment Day, those who come with a religion other than Islam will not be accepted.
That's true. Of course. The Holy Quran teaches that if you come up with a religion other than Islam, Allah will not accept it from you. Is that right? Then you read in the Quran, those who are Jews and those who are Sabians, those who believe in Allah and the last day, they have their reward. Now, how do you harmonize that? By saying that when I go to a church, I don't try to convert those people to Islam. Then am I then aiding them in destruction if on the judgment, if they come up with a religion other than Islam? No. It's really great when you understand. See, everything that I'm doing, if you study, not just look at the man, but look at the method. There's a technique that I am using to further the work of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now, Have you heard the Honorable Elijah Muhammad saying that all black people are Muslims by nature? You heard him say that? You read it? Okay, you read it. Now, if all of us are Muslim by nature, then you can't convert anybody to Islam. The lesson, the Savior never said convert the people. He said his greatest teaching was accept your own and be yourself. What is yourself? A righteous Muslim. Okay. Now, when I go to church, I talk to Christian people who have the word of a man called Jesus. Do we recognize Jesus? Yes, we do. Yes, every Muslim recognizes Jesus. Is that right? Yes, then we recognize Jesus' revelation called the Injil, or the good news. So when I go to church, I know that the truth that Jesus taught is there. They may be confused, but it's there. And I also know that the nature of the people is righteousness. And I also know, listen to me carefully now, that when you talk about converting people, you frighten them.
Yes, sir. That's right.
That's right. Now, a person has been Baptist all their life. How do you tell a Baptist that's been a Baptist 60 years, come on over, I'm going to make you a Muslim? Now just listen to what I'm saying. They say, Muslim, what is that? Then they begin to see Muslim as, oh, I got to change my dress. Or they see Muslim as, I got to wear a headpiece, or I got to do this, or I got to do that. And they make the jump. Okay, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. And they leap from the church over to the mosque and never quite make it. They're neither this nor that. They're somewhere in between, lost, never have made it. And believe me, brother, Imam Waddin Muhammad proved that many who claim to be Muslim had not quite made it yet. So here's the way I approach it. And I'm telling you straight up, I'm a scientist. What I mean by a scientist is I look for the best method to get the message over to our people and make them comfortable while you're giving them a message. Once you make people afraid, once you make them think, oh my God, I got to change out of this in order to be that, in order for God to accept me, then you set up all kind of psychological trauma in that person's mind. I want you to know you're already accepted by God. He has already chosen you to be his people in the church, in the prostitution house. You still the people of God. You messed up, but he chose you. Now how do I get you out? Well, if I took you out of the church, where am I going to put you? We ain't got enough room here for everybody that's in the church. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said the truth would be taught where? In the church. So I go right to the church, where the people are Christians, where they believe in Jesus and the scripture that he brought, and then I give them the truth of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, coming in the Injil through Jesus, through their belief as a Christian, and all of a sudden the church is on fire. Now, I haven't told them you got to be what I am, because they're already what I am. That's right. Go ahead. So why plague their mind with that? I just keep on feeding the nature of them, which is righteousness. And before you know it, what happens in the church is the old rituals that they begin to grow up out of, they leave it off. Little by little, you see them growing right up in the church. And before you know it, the brother and sister in the church, they'll be with the music, but then somebody will say, we don't eat pork. I was in a church a couple of Wednesdays ago, and I started talking about the Immaculate Conception and what it meant, and the Reverend jumped up and said, go ahead, because that's what he teaches his congregation. The truth is already there. All you got to do is keep feeding the people. and the people will grow into obedience to God. And what is Islam? Obedience to the will of God. So nothing will be accepted on that day but obedience to the will of God. You may call it Islam. They may call it Christianity. Somebody else may call it Judaism. But if it's obedience to God's will, you're going to make it. Thank you, brother.
My. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. A scientist, man. Y'all don't think that's what we're doing here in the power call? Come on, man. We got to study the minister. We got to study. He done already gave us the blueprint. He done already gave us the blue. We got Christians in here. We got those who don't believe in God in here. We got those who, I'm just trying out Ramadan in here. Oh, but when they get in here and we give them a word and they comfortable and we showing them and we making it relatable and we sharing the what is that doing? We feeding the people and little by little they are growing. Oh man, the minister is cold, man, major. I mean, he's a scientist. So when we going out, don't try to tell him you gotta be this and you gotta force him. Listen, hey, come on, we just gonna feed on that righteousness in you that's already in you. And then over time, you gonna do it yourself. And let me share a quick story with you. A brother I invited to study group one time. The brother sagging, from the hood. Sagging, had his hat turned to the back like this here. So we go into the study group, right? Of course, we suited and booted. Come in, we doing check. Uh-oh, that's different. That's different now. Hey, man, leave that. Hey, matter of fact, that weed you got in your pot, put that back in the car. Yeah, you can't bring that in here. Yeah, put that, okay, yeah, put that under the seat. Boom, okay. He come back in. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is a little different here. He come in, everybody, yes, sir, brother. Everybody, yes, ma'am, sister. Everybody. Just the language. And then we suit up. And I'm watching him. I'm just paying attention to him. Tell me why the brother, nobody told him to. He pull his pants up. Pull his pants up. And then when we sat down for study group, I seen him do this here. And we watching. But nobody told him to make the correction. The environment, right? And just the example. He naturally made the correction on his own. So, man, let's just keep striving to be the example. Let's keep striving to be skillful. Don't just, I'm hitting them with the truth, brother. No, yeah, you banging with the truth. But what is the results? The minister said this, work is force times distance. He said, if I push on this table, even if but the table don't move, you have done no work. You have done no work, no matter how strong, how hard you're pushing. So don't just, I'm banging on this. No, if you ain't making no progress and ain't nobody growing and being uplifted, then you still ain't putting in no work. So hopefully the minister's formula there was able to bring clarity to some of y'all, able to give y'all a perspective that you never thought or considered. And you will go out and be more successful. And you're calling people to God. You may not be a minister. You may not be a social media influencer or whatever, but you have your gift and you have your way. So just take the principles of what the minister used and what the minister was saying and use it and put it in your fine language that you know. How about that? So thank you all for listening, family, man. This is a great Ramadan so far. I mean, I ain't broke a day yet. Let me not even say yet. Because I ain't gonna play it too. I ain't broke a day. I've been feeling good. I ain't been too. Now about 5:30, I started to get a little rumble, but I ain't. I be busy around that time, so it ain't too hard on me. It ain't too hard for me. Oh yeah, when we're sharing the screen, family, when we're sharing the screen, don't put no marks on the screen because everybody can see that. Y'all may think it only y'all can see it, but try not to do the markings on the Quran. I don't think we're supposed to do that anyway. I think Brother Nuri told me that one time. We're not supposed to highlight in the Quran. I forgot the reason why. I think that puts one verse over the another, but don't quote me on that. But especially on the Zoom, because everybody else can see those markings. So try not to put any markings on it, okay? So again, thank you all for listening. This has been a great Ramadan. Thank you all for getting up every morning. And I thank everybody who's been sharing this with people. I thank everybody who's even been sharing your feedback, because man, you don't know how much is needed. Assalamu alaikum, and I'll see you guys, inshallah, in a minute. I was about to say in the morning. We'll see y'all at 3 o'clock Central Time if y'all gonna come on for the prayer. I don't think that's something you want to miss, man, because it's just, even if you know it, just there to give knowledge. You guys may be able to help out here and there, because, we want to learn the prayers and the meanings of the words and all that. So that's what we plan on doing today. So again, assalamu alaikum, and see you guys in a few.
Is Brother Ben here? Brother Ben. Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister. And Ben tells them about the minister.